All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start cutting in our walls. So before you really get started, just try to work the paint into your brush and get it good and saturated so that you're not having to dip your brush every 2 or 3 inches. So if you need to tape it off, that's fine. Just be mindful that you get your tape good and pressed down, otherwise you're going to get bleed through, and you'll have to end up having to touch up the ceiling by hand. That is why we typically will just brush cut by hand. After 15 years of painting, you can get a pretty good line. So, just want to make sure you're putting an even amount of paint on. You don't want to have real heavy spots, or you will start to get some drips and sags. And take your time. So cutting out walls is one of the most time-consuming portions of the job, because we take our time to make sure we have good straight lines. Rolling walls goes really fast, but this is the difference between a good paint job and a great paint job. All right, so once we just do a thin line, we'll use our little 4-inch roller, and we widen our cut lines so that we don't have to roll as close to the ceiling, which will minimize the risk of bumping a finished ceiling or finished trim. So anytime you're working on a ladder, you want to make sure that you're on a good solid surface and that the feet of your ladder are securely planted so there's no wobble in your ladder. Also, I like to set my ladder up with the rungs that I climb up facing the wall, so I can use the top of the ladder as a brace so that a little more secure and minimize the chance of falling. So, when we're cutting, we like to roll all the way around any receptacles, just to give you a little bit of buffer zone so that you don't roll over them. It's really not a good idea to paint electrical boxes because, well, for one, the first time you plug something into it, you're going to scratch the paint off it and it's going to look like garbage. So we always paint around them. And what we like to use our 4-inch rollers just to kind of just roll right around the outside of it so that we reduce the chance of rolling over it. Thanks for watching part 5. Stay tuned for the conclusion in part 6.